Hi guys, today I'm going to do a video showing you how these Arsenal AKs, at least the SGL-21 here, is not a universal AK variant like the rest of the AK variants on the market in the world. As you can see, this is a Arsenal made in Russia, Arsenal, Las Vegas, Nevada. This is an Arsenal. I also don't think these are very good rifles for combat shooting or any kind of high rate shooting. I think this is more of a target range rifle, being out at the shooting range where you don't have to worry about bad guys shooting back at you. You can take your time and take slow aimed shots, which it's good for that. It doesn't kick as much because it's got this AK-47 style brake on the end, so it does reduce the muzzle lift and recoil, so it does make it a little bit easier to shoot. But they make a big deal about how these rifles are real tight made, fit good together, which I see as a bad thing for the AK. The reason these rifles got the reputation that they've got today is because they're loose fitting guns, and that's why they're so reliable. Sand can get in between the parts, doesn't matter, and any gunk can get in there, mud, dirt, anything, rocks, and because it's so loose, stuff can be right in between the moving parts, unlike AR-15s that are so tight fitting that you throw a little handful of sand at them while you're shooting, the gun's useless. And I know this for a fact. I've shot many AR-15s. I've owned a few AR-15s, sold them all because they just break over and over. Now, the way I look at it, if you make an AK as tight fitting as an AR-15, then you've just lost the reliability of the AK. So now you've got a AR-15 that just happens to look like an AK variant. That's just my opinion, though. I'll show you a lot of things that are not universal in this rifle. So if you were on the battlefield and say you needed to pick up a dead enemy's rifle and fix your rifle in the field, can't do that unless you can find exactly one of these rifles. And maybe not even that. I don't even know. Maybe these guns are individually parted so that you can't interchange the parts. I also think that Arsenal is sort of aware that this is not a combat gun. First off, I wouldn't put plastic grips on a gun that you're going to go to combat with because they can melt. They got that steel heat guard inside that dissipates the heat. Well, guess where it dissipates it? To the outside of the grip. If you were to pull the trigger 30 times as fast as you can, this grip is almost so hot that if you don't have gloves on, you can't hold it anymore. And if you can only shoot 30, 40, 50, 60 rounds and then you can't hold it anymore, what good is it? Good as rocks, as far as I can see. That's also why I think they give you this little 5-round magazine. I'm sure they'll say it's for hunting, but I think it's because they're implying they don't want you to shoot lots of rounds out of this very fast. Or they might say that this would make it California legal. Well, that makes it not California legal. Same with this. So they could plus all the pictures they show on their page, they always have that big 30-round nice magazine in there. I don't know what's up with that. But okay, so let's start. First off, they chose to use hex, like these little star head screws to hold the butt on. I have no idea why they would do that. One of a couple reasons. Maybe they couldn't get brand new screws that come on the butts of AKs because they usually come with flat heads. Now, the reason they come with flat heads is because the cleaning kit comes with a flathead multi-tool screwdriver to take that off and remove that, and everything else is flathead. The bottom of the grip is a flathead. The bolts that hold the screws that hold the butt on are flathead. Same for the sling. attachment, and that's why these should be flathead. Now, I don't know what their reasoning was behind this. Maybe it was we can't find flathead screws. I don't know why. Or maybe it's because they want you to buy a tool from them so that you can take those off. I don't know. So that's one thing that's not universal. Another thing you can see here is if you look, this is not centered. This tang right here is not centered in there. There's a big gap on this one side, not on the other side. Now they talk about, oh look, we have the correct little space gap here for recoil reduction and whatnot. Looks to me to be pretty tight. If you were to look at the butt on this SAR-1 over here, that is a space. You can see space. This Arsenal is way too tight fitting. So I see that as being a problem. It could end up in a failure of the weapon because it's being too tight, you know. So that's one thing that's not universal, is those screws. Another thing is Arsenal always makes a big deal about how, oh, other people don't put this little trap door in here for your cleaning kit, and we do at Arsenal. Well, guess what? I don't know if it's like you gotta buy their cleaning kits or something, but all my cleaning kits won't fit in here. So this is not universal. Here's a cleaning kit. This is out of my Wasser 10. Put that in there. It gets stuck. It gets stuck right there. Now, if I were to push that down in there, it would get wedged down in here about like that. And it would stay there. And the trap door would just swing free. It would just stay there. And then I would have to take this butt plate off to get it out of there with pliers, which is what I just had to do. Here's another cleaning kit. This is from the SAR-1. Let's try that one. Oh, stuck. Stuck again. So there's another thing that is not universal on the Arsenal AK. Let's take off this dust cover here. This dust cover right here is different. It's a little bit longer than the standard dust covers. All right. Now, when you take this dust cover, this is off of my Wasser 10. You put this on there, it's real loose fitting. You can see that there's a pretty large gap right there, and it is barely holding on up here. And if you were to shoot this, it might come flying off here because it doesn't fit. This one's a little bit longer. It's like they made the dimensions just a half a millimeter difference. Now, if you were to take this dust cover off of my SAR, put that on there, push it down, and it won't even close. The hole cut in it is not the same size, and it will not shut. Not universal. There's two different dust covers that I just tried. Didn't work, either one of them. So let's put those aside. Let's take this bolt carrier out. Alright guys, this is the end of part 1. We're going to go to part 2, so catch me over in part 2. Thanks for watching, guys.